Hello and welcome one and all to this playthrough of the Darkest Dungeon, or the Darkest Dungeon, or Darkest Dungeon. Alright. So, this is a game that I've enjoyed for a while. I have about 60 hours in it. And I bought the Crimson Court when it came out, and I just never got around to playing it after I did like a run through of it. It's right here. So, and I've had no incentive to play this game since then. I've been really busy and just lazy. But my friend, the Spastic Surgeon, you can find his YouTube channel if you just search that, recently did an episode where he recorded Slay the Spire. And I was inspired by him. So thanks, Spastic Surgeon / Austin. And I figured, what the heck, I'll just record me playing Darkest Dungeon. I'll put a disclaimer in the beginning right now that I'm not amazing at this game. I know a decent amount, but I mainly like this game for its pretty hardcore game mechanics and its Lovecraftian-esque tone and the horror that's tied into that, because I really love Lovecraft and I really love high stakes, as they say. So, which is what this game is predicated on. So, we'll start a new campaign. As you can see, I have Crimson Court. I don't have the Shieldbreaker DLC because whatever. I don't feel like buying it. And we'll go Darkest because I'm not a masochist. That wasn't what I wanted. Whatever. Alright. We'll just call that DP for now. And we can skip the tutorial, luckily. So for any of you who don't know, The Darkest Dungeon, or Darkest Dungeon, is an indie game that came out about 3 or so years ago. Dungeon crawler. And known for its rather unforgiving RNG, and its heavy, and its art style, and its heavy reliance on Lovecraftian horror, which I love. The game is basically predicated around you, your character, you in the game, are a descendant who has inherited this like huge like plot of land and this manor where like your ancestor, your like great grandpappy or whoever, was really rich, and he was like, you know what, I feel like banging some hoes and then doing some black magic. So he did those things in that order. And then, as a result, he found a big fuck-off gate to hell, or wherever, in his basement, in the really deep basement, in his sub-basement, I suppose. And he killed himself after he sent a letter to you saying that you get to deal with it now. You get to deal with all this. So now you basically have to you recruit adventurers to go spelunking into the various places to try and grind them up to get them to a point where they can go into the Darkest Dungeon. Which is a lot easier said than done. There is an achievement in this game for doing this in like 40 or 50 weeks. That is insane to me. My like longest save file, as you guys saw earlier, was at 68 weeks, and I was maybe halfway, 3/4 of the way to sending my first crew into the Darkest Dungeon. So here's the tutorial. It always starts out this way. The carriage breaks, and you start out with these two guys. You got Reynold the Crusader, which is a pretty like heavy frontline melee combatant guy. Does like, he's a holy guy. He does bonus damage against unholy beasts like the undead and stuff like that. He's pretty good. And we have Dismas, who's a highwayman, who is he goes for crits, bleeds, can shoot people with his gun he's got right here. He's pretty good too. Alright, so you click here to go to the next room in the map. You have to select a room to move forwards. And then we'll go forwards, and then right around here, there should be an enemy. Alright. Okay. So as you can see, we got, we're in combat mode now. So every single character has 4 abilities. You can trade these abilities out later. You can unlock them, and you can just switch them out. And this is also, if you right-click on somebody, you can see their like whole stat page. These will come into play later. So these are basic stats and resistances and stuff like that. These are quirks, which we'll also get into later. And then equipment, all that good stuff. So for now, we'll open up with Open Vein. Pretty good attack. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, he's gonna get to attack. Oh, that's okay. Okay, I didn't expect that, honestly. And then we'll go. All right, so every single, it's basically round robin style, how the turns go. It's predicated on speed. Typically, whoever has the highest speed gets to go first, and every single character at the beginning of every round there's like RNG, a die that rolls, and then everyone gets a roll, and then it adds to their speed. So higher speed typically would go first, and then it'll go in descending order from there. So we'll just go and have Reynauld smack him with the sword. That was not that much damage. All right. So we beat the guy. We get a little bit of gold. At the end of every combat encounter, there's always some loot you can get, generally. And yep, that's the first tutorial combat encounter. All right, that's important. So every single character has stress. Every single one. Everyone has stress. The important thing about stress is that stress builds up from just dungeoneering or suffering things that would make you stressed out, such as taking a crit, taking a magical stress attack, getting hit by a trap, stuff like that. As you can see, the cap for stress is 200. Really, it should be 0 to 100 and then 100 to 200. What happens when you get to 100 stress is your character, a check will roll, and the character will have to roll. This is behind the scenes, and if they fail the roll, which you typically will, you only have a 10% chance of passing the roll. The character will become afflicted, is what it's called. Meaning they'll start to like break down in some kind of way. They'll be like paranoid, and they'll start being like, oh, I can hear them talking through the walls. Or they turn into like a masochist, and they'll attack people in your party. It's pretty bad. And then then from there, when they get from 100 to 200, so when they get to 200 stress, they automatically get sent to death's door, and then they can just die instantly from a heart attack. It's pretty bad. So typically you want to keep your stress low by in the hamlet, in the like in between mission area, you want to have them relax and, you know, drink or gamble or go pray, whatever strikes their fancy. And as you dungeoneer, stress will inevitably rise, and that's just how the game goes. So we got a tent here you can interact with. You can get some loot maybe. Alright. We got some okay stuff. This is the tutorial area, so it's like whatever. I'm going to the next area. This is the light level. The light level, as you can see, plays a factor in certain things. Lower light increases stress and gives you a higher chance of being surprised by enemies. However, it's a bit of a gamble though, because if you have extremely low light, you also have a higher chance of finding loot. So it's a pretty good. If you want to gamble, you can do that, or if you want to just send a bunch of normal level like 0 garbage cans into a dungeon to grind up, you can just send them with no torches and then they get torn apart. It's whatever. So we got this big guy who does a lot of bleed, and this motherfucker. Okay. Oh, ranged enemies in this game are one of the worst to deal with because they generally have extremely high speed, so they're very hard to hit. And we have a surprise round, so both of us get to go first, and let's see if I can stun them. As you can see, every single enemy has a resistance to every single status effect or debuff that occurs. So this guy has a 50% chance to get stunned. So let's see. Let's see if we can stun him. Alright, off to a fantastic start. Alright. -2 dodge, that's not good. Oh, that's okay. Oh no, we both have bleed. Alright. Luckily this is a tutorial, so there's only 1 damage bleed, which is not that bad. We need to focus on this guy. Alright, now he's bleeding. That's good. Oh, please. Oh joy. Alright. Okay. Hit him with the good old smite. Alright, apparently he's not evil enough to strike him down by the hand of God. Oh, shit. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, we'll be fine. This isn't anything to worry about unless you massively fuck it up. Hopefully anyways. Yeah, this should be okay. He'll just keep stacking bleed, but we should be fine. Alright. Big guy dead. Alright, whenever somebody dies, as you can see, there's a certain rank to everything. You can only have at max 4 characters, whether it's enemies or allies, on each side. And in this party file order, you can move people around. So whenever you kill an enemy, their corpse will stick around. I didn't mean to click that, but their corpse will stick around. So you have to destroy the corpse if you want to pull the farther away enemies closer to the front line, which is generally a really good tactic because the ranged enemies generally certain abilities can only be used if you're in a certain rank. So as you can see, that's why these are blacked out. Actually, they can only, as you can see, I'm explaining this poorly. Every single attack has like a certain rank in which it can be used in, and a certain rank which it can be used to attack in. So Open Vein can be used in ranks, the front 3 ranks, and it can only hit the first 2 ranks on the enemy side. But Pistol Shot can hit the back 3 ranks, but since this guy's so far up, he can't be hit. And then we got this. You see the little connecting lines between the ranks on the enemy side. That means it's like an AoE attack. That means it'll hit all those ranks at the same time. So it's good for general damage. And then we'll just... Alright, he's almost dead. Oh, alright. And then dead. Alright. Cool. Oh boy. Alright. The blood. Alright. That's not bad. And then return to Hamlet. That chest is trapped. Alright, so this is the end of mission screen. Or end of dungeon delving screen, whatever you want to call it. You collect your quest rewards, and you get to see how much gold you made from dungeoneering, also your heirlooms, which you didn't get any, which is weird, because generally you get few. And then every single character gets their XP, and then Dismas didn't get a... Huh. And they also develop a quirk. Generally, every single... at the end of every adventure, whatever you want, we'll call them missions. At the end of every mission, all of your adventurers will develop a quirk, whether it's good or bad, and it's good. This would have been a lot better on Dismas, but I'll take it. All right, that's not bad. It's not a bad one, so that's good. They get resolve XP. So this is their resolve level. As they get more and more levels, they advance and become more confident and stronger, just in general. And which is really important because certain higher level dungeons, you can't send lower level adventurers into them. They'll just be like, no, please, I don't want to die. And then, but the adverse is also true. If you have a party of like really high adventurers, you can't send them into lower level dungeons. They'll be like, this is beneath me.
Corrupted lands. They are yours now.
All right.
And you are bound to them.
Yeah, that's the ancestor talking. In some weird expositional narrator way. So this is the Hamlet, and this is the activity log and all that stuff. So we got this nice garbage can town that nobody wants to live in, but people live in anyways. And you can see the estate on the cliff all the way up there. What a precarious place to put that place anyways. So we got a few places we can check out. We really can't do anything else because we're still in the tutorial technically. We got a graveyard, which shows us
covered in the poisoned earth, awaiting merciful.
I'll let him go on. Alright, so we got the graveyard where you can check out where all your people have died. This will generally be quite full after a playthrough of this game. You have the Ancestor's Memoirs, which is just
tragic extent of my failings.
This is just you can go through cutscenes and stuff like that, narrations and stuff. All the other areas are locked, more or less, except for the stagecoach.
Women and men, soldiers and outlaws.
Stagecoach is where you get new adventurers. They generally always start at level 0 in the beginning, but you can upgrade. All the buildings in the Hamlet you can upgrade in some way, shape, or form. Some in less conventional ways, like Survivalist is what gives you some camping skills. She upgrades in a really kind of, I think she just lowers the cost. But a lot of them upgrade in pretty interesting ways. We got the Abbey, Sanitarium Abbey, which is for stress relief, Tavern, which is also for stress relief. The Sanitarium, which is where you can send people to have quirks, electrocuted out of them, in the good old-fashioned way. The Guild, where you can train skills. The Blacksmith, where you can upgrade equipment. And the Nomad Wagon, where you can upgrade, or you can buy new trinkets to equip people with. So now we got 2 new adventures. and we'll go. Did I get anything cool? No, not really. Okay, and then this is gold, and so that. Alright, won't work. So we got 2 new adventures.
Of madness and morbidity. Your work begins.
I hate talking over him because he sounds so cool. Alright. So we got 2 new adventures. We have a plague doctor who is really good at dispensing, well, plague or blight. She has a lot of blight, and yes, it is a woman. It's canon and everything. She has a bunch of blight abilities and is just generally a really good ranged combatant to spam lots of AoE and stuff like that. She's actually a god-awful healer, funnily enough. She really is only good for getting rid of blight and bleed. And actually, I got a decent roll on these. I can't remember if it... No. Wait. Okay, I can't remember if these extra party members you get, if their skills are preset or if they roll for them. If they are not preset, then I got a pretty good roll because I distinctly remember having some garbage ones before. Like once upon a time I had like Incision and Disorienting Blast, and I didn't have Plague Grenade, which is pretty bad. The Plague Grenade's amazing. Alright, so we got our negative quirks and we got our positive quirks. Everybody has these. Oh, I would've... That's not horrible. That's not horrible. Alright. Alright, so we'll go on our first... yeah. We'll go on our first dungeon into the ruins, which is the undead area. And we'll pop them in here. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, this is fine. So as you can see, whenever you have a certain skill loadout, it'll tell you it'll tell you like what position they should be preferred to be in, and which position and their preferred target. So as you can see, you want to stick this particularly highwayman with the skill loadout in ranks 2 or 3, and then you can only attack rank 2. I think that's rank 2. And then rank 3 or 4 can really only attack, isn't very effective against ranks 1 or 2, but is okay at ranks 3 and 4. Alright, so we'll get short apprentice. This little campfire thing means we might have whenever you have a longer dungeon, you'll bring a bundle of wood in your inventory, in the party's inventory, to use for a campfire, so you can like heal up, reduce stress, stuff like that. Alright, go into the ruins. Oh, alright, equipment or provisioning. Alright, so you want to bring food for all of them. That's very important. Generally, if you're not camping the night, you don't need to bring more than like 8 or 12. I like to err on the side of caution because this stuff is really cheap. The blood, this will not come into play until we see mosquito bullshits. Torches, also very important. You want to bring more than 4 of these. Bring like 6 or 8 of these, even in a short dungeon if you don't feel like gambling a little bit. Most of the keys, these could be pretty good if you find a secret area, which is not or if you just find locked stuff that is trapped. They might be trapped. Anti-venom, we don't need that for this dungeon. Bandages, I don't think we need these. Shovels, these are also very important. You can run into massive like rubble piles that you can't get past, and the only way to get through them is to either dig them out by hand, which sucks and makes everyone really stressed out and hurts them, or you have to use a shovel. So shovels are also very good. Holy water is also amazing because you can interact with certain things and you can purify shrines with it, and it gives you really good bonuses. Laudanum, I've actually never used this. This isn't a stress heavy dungeon, so I think actually kind of is. We'll be fine. Do we need bandages? I don't think we need any bandages. Alright, won't bark. This is still kind of tutorial level, so it should be okay. Get through this dungeon. So every single area in the Darkest Dungeon has a different subset of enemies that are within it. Ruins, for example, is all mostly undead. It's like, I'd say it's like half and half. It's between undead and like living. You'll find cultists in here and stuff, and the cultists are no, they're both pretty scary. I was gonna say the cultists are generally the scarier ones because they can do a lot of damage, but when you get later on, the undead ones get very scary. All right, so we got a torch. Bonus torch. All right, pretty good. And then we'll keep going. As you can see, the light light dimmed. Oh, whoops. All right, we got 2 undead bone rabbles over here, and then Dismas is going first. All right. We will not use open vein. All right. Every single enemy subset also has a different set of resistances and stats that are associated with it. So, for example, undead enemies or unholy enemies, undead, cannot be bled because they're dead. They're generally kind of weak to stun though, and blight. They're generally very weak to blight, which is some weird poison acid combination. It's whatever. So we'll go. Actually, we'll tracking shot just to give him a little status buff for his next round, and then we'll go blight, and you'll get blighted, so he'll be dead when his turn comes around, and we might actually just beat this right now. Yeah, okay. Reynold hits like a sack of bricks. Dazzling light. We'll do that just to refresh our torch a little bit.
Great is the weapon.
There are certain skills that heroes can use which do refresh torchlight, and also some that diminish torchlight. The occultist has some of those, I'm pretty sure. A shovel. Cool. And some ancestors stuff. So as you can see, this is our map. Each of these is a room we can go to. You have to select a room to like move forward through. Moving backwards is actually awful because your characters cannot turn around. Apparently, they're only able to move forwards. So if they try to move backwards, the camera will start to close in like that, and they'll take more and more stress damage. And here's a perfect example of the rubble. And we have a shovel. Thank God. All right. Let's keep going. All right, we have a bone soldier who's a little scarier. Has some protection. As you can see, protection is a flat percentage damage reduction to damage. Yeah, I said that twice. Which is pretty bad. Generally, it's not too worrisome on these earlier guys. It's when you get to like 45 to 50 protection that it gets really... It's a bother to deal with. But for now, we'll just... actually... I wish I had that other ability. Yeah, I wish I had Disorienting Blast. And this is a Cultist Acolyte. She's basically a mage, and she will just spam you with stress spells, which will increase your stress level, which is pretty bad. For now, though, we'll go with Noxious Blast and just try to kill this Bone Soldier first. Oh, okay. Yeah, she's using a stress spell. Oh, and Plague Doctor dodged. Alright, cool. I cannot hit you. We'll do Grape Shot Blast for the AoE damage. Yeah, oh, alright. That's pretty good. Another dog, okay. Doing alright. Divine Grace. She is a much better healer than Plague Doctor. We'll attack the...
Their formation is broken. Maintain
alright.
As the fiend falls,
alright.
a faint hope blossoms.
So I crit twice. Crits are, I'm not sure of the crit RNG in this game. It's really weird sometimes. I have to check it myself at some point. But crit RNG can be pretty nice to you if it wants to be, or it can be awful to you. Oh yeah, and our dungeon objective is to explore 90% of rooms, which basically means in these smaller dungeons you have to explore all but one room. So you want to do it as efficiently as possible generally, so you don't have to expose yourself to any more stress. And I forgot that that's actually kind of shitty. Alright, so this is a perfect example of one of the negative quirks, negative non-stat affected quirks. So every Reynold, unfortunately, is a kleptomaniac, meaning that sometimes when he walks past like packs and stuff like that, he'll just loot it, keep it for himself, doesn't share. Apparently sharing is not caring with Reynold, which is pretty shitty. And I hate, which is why people tend to hate Renault, because he'll just steal good shit like a skeleton key. Alright. Alright. We got a Cultist Brawler. These guys inflict some decent amount of bleed if you leave them alive for too long. And we again do not have both ranks filled. They also have a lot of health. I'll go for this guy though, because oh, come on. Didn't even bleed. Alright. And that's a stress spell. Ooh, 15. Yeah. See what I mean? That's 15. See, that's 15 stress right there. She does a lot of stress damage. It's 15 stress out of 100. It's we'll go dazzling. We'll stun this. Okay. All right, that's fine. We'll go for an AOE attack. Okay, this guy's almost done. Graveyard. Okay, that's not bad. Okay. Well, he's dead next round. Generally, whenever you're throwing around status effect or dots, like this damage over time effects, you want to pay attention to the fact if their turn's gonna go, because dots always tick whenever it's their turn. So, because this guy's turn is going to come up later, he'll die by the time his turn is. So I can just not pay attention to him. You can't pay attention to this guy though. So I have 85, 714. All right. Perfect. All right. Oh, goddamn. That's another 15 stress damage. Okay. We'll go Blade Grenade. Toss some blight onto her, and then we'll just shoot her. Yeah, she's dead. And we'll just use this rest of these rounds to heal. Whenever you get whenever you basically just killed the entire enemy party with like dots and stuff like that, it's a good idea to just use the rest of your turns to heal, stuff like that, and just delay. Don't delay for too long though, because if you delay for too long in this game, your adventurers will get extremely stressed. Because the game has a mechanic where that if you try to do what I was kind of doing and you just delay it so you can just spam heals because they can't do anything, you'll it'll punish you and they'll just get, you know, suffer massive amounts of stress damage. Moving on. Oh, that's a trap. Oh, that sucks. Ooh, that hurts. All right. Okay. He'll be okay, but that does suck. Traps are just a thing. You can't really avoid at early levels. As your adventurers get higher level, it becomes... Oh, okay. So this is a good example of why you want to also have higher stress, or not stress, torchlight. Every single time you go into a room, if you have decently high torch level, you have a chance of scouting, which basically tells you the pathways and tells you what's in every single path tile, along with what's in the room tile, to the ones connected next to you, which is really good. Being able to scout is amazing because it lets you avoid things like rubble. It lets you sometimes find secret rooms, traps. Lets you avoid really battles you don't need to do, such as in this one, such as in scouting. Especially when you're scouting, you want to try to just get through all the rooms so you can just finish out the quest. Especially in medium difficulty scouting, medium length, it can get really shitty if you're having to go through every single room and you don't know what's in each one. Oh, we got more food. All right. We'll just head to the next room, which there's nothing in here because we scouted. All right. This is why you want to bring food. If you don't bring, if you let them eat and you have food, they each take 1 food. Unless they have some kind of effect on which makes them eat more. They eat 4 food and they regain 5% of their health, which is not that much, honestly. It's kind of shitty of a heal. It's like 1 or 2 points of health each. However, if you don't, they take 20% damage and they take stress damage, which is awful. So I'll take the kind of shitty party heal over that. You can also light torches as you enter rooms. I probably didn't even light those, honestly. Okay. More rubble. Thank God they gave me a shovel earlier, but I'm happy I brought another one. Alright. okay, this is an example of a soiree of undead that actually kind of frightened me. So we have the shittiest enemy in this entire game here, the Bone Courtier, who is like who's basically a more dead, shitty hat wearing, goblet holding fucker of the stress mage from earlier, except he just spills his grape juice on you and he'll stress you the fuck out. We have a Bone Arbalist who is also shitty. They do like 7 to like 10 damage a hit. This guy who does he can move people around with his shield slam, and he has 25% resistance, which is pretty shitty. But this is a perfect example of why you bring a Plague Doctor into the ruins, because we can just go Plague Grenade. All right, perfect. Oral, oh boy. All right, it's not horrible. All right, he's gonna spill his grape juice. That fucker. I can't get grape stains out. I can't get grape juice stains out of this coat. All right, we're gonna go. Grape shot's always a good thing to open up with. I'll pray I get 6 damage out of this. All right, that's perfect. These two will die next turn. These two I'm worried about though. Ooh. Okay, this guy doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but if he's a pretty good disruptor. All right, we'll just home run this fucker out of here. All right, bringing a Crusader into ruins is basically, it's a godsend, because they do that percentage bonus holy damage. Also, he's Warrior of Light. Actually, no, he doesn't have a Undead Hater. I thought he did. There are certain quirks which is to give bonus damage against certain enemy types, and also other ones where you take bonus damage against certain enemy types. So it's a push and pull sort of thing. I wish I had a Wicked Slice, not Open Vein, but that's okay. 7 damage isn't bad. Actually, that is not bad at all. Holy shit. We're almost done, so I don't really need to worry about heals. That's another crit. Rad. He's dead. There we go. And we got more blood. That'll come in handy later. Continue adventuring. You might as well burn this. What? It's still a question mark. Oh, we got more blood. Holy shit. All right, I'll take that. The blood is part of the Crimson Court DLC. The blood comes in really handy whenever you start to have blooded party members. It was really unbalanced when Crimson Court came out. There were a lot of issues with the Crimson Court release when I played it. It was honestly kind of what turned me off to continue playing it. The Crimson Court release had so many just like tiny issues. For example, right after, actually I could just show you. Night Blindness, that's pretty shitty. Robust, that's fine. These are whatever. The place tactician and whatever abilities are generally not that good because, well, it's okay on a Plague Doctor for Cove Tactician because you want to bring a Plague Doctor on Cove because Plague is the only thing that can tear apart those fucking fish people. But he got Eagle Eye, great. But generally the insert place name here abilities are not too amazing because other quirks are less situational. All right, we got the Abbey and this. Oh, not the and the. All right, so I was talking about the Crimson Court release. The Crimson Court release. The issue with Crimson Court release was the fact you could, as the courtyard's not open right now, but it used to be immediately after you finished the first tutorial level, which is the one I just finished. You could go immediately into the courtyard. Issue with that is the courtyard is not a place for like level 1 adventures. There is a boss at the very end. Most of the courtyard you can beat with level 1 adventures. It's a little hard, but it's nothing impossible. However, when you get to the end of it, there's this alligator boss who will absolutely tear you in half. There's no way for you to beat him with level 1 adventures. The main issue with it is that he sits in rank 4. He'll sit in the very back rank, so there's no way for you to hit him with anybody except for Dismas and Tustain, or your Vestal. The name varies. And generally how you would get him out of there is their displacement abilities. However, nobody in the original starting party has a displacement ability except for the Plague Doctor, and it's only disorienting blast at that. So you might not even get that lucky. You might only shuffle him into the alligator into position 3, so you're fucked anyways, and he'll just move back anyway, and he'll just move back regardless. So after they realize their horrible mistake, they put a little like disclaimer thing that's like, please do not bring level 1 adventurers into here. Another issue, the like blooded raid, you can basically accidentally turn your adventurers into vampires, essentially. The blooded rate was rampant. If you had a certain percentage chance for getting hit by every single time you got hit by a Crimson Court enemy, you have a percentage chance to get blooded, essentially. And after that, you would have to keep supplying those blooded characters every once in a while with the blood, as you can, it's somewhere, the blood. Otherwise, they take massive stat penalties. However, the blood didn't drop frequently enough, and it was kind of shitty all around. It's hopefully all balanced now. I haven't played since then, but it was pretty shitty and honestly kind of turned me off the release. Red Hook does come out with some good shit, but they could have done better on their first DLC. But it's okay. So we got the Abbey and the Tavern unlocked, and I guess I'll show you guys what's going on with that later on in our next session. So peace and have a good night.